Hello friends, and welcome to today's episode. Kevin Hentington works on building projects for a living. He is big and strong, and he enjoys making new friends. He was an everyday man with an ordinary life until he was working on the Interstate 95 highway in Henrico County, Virginia, and something very strange happened to him. The day began as usual. He got to work at his usual time and was doing his usual work when he saw a car speeding down the highway. He wondered if the person driving was sane because the speed was so fast. He had just turned back to his work when he caught a glimpse of the car door opening out of the corner of his eye. When he turned to look at the car, an 18-year-old girl jumped out of it. Strangely, the woman ran up to the construction worker and begged him to call 911. When the man was doing his normal job, he noticed something strange. He saw a car going too fast for safety. The car was going too fast to stop. It really made him mad because there had been a lot of crashes on that road because people drove too fast. But then a door opened, and something fell out of the car. Kevin was a hard worker when he was in his 30s. He was one of those guys who really cared about their work. It's important to note here that the man's hard work had been praised a lot. But none of his co-workers knew about a side of him that would show that day. On that particular day, Kevin felt tired. It's not easy to work all day on Virginia's I-95, which has a lot of traffic. He wanted to take a day off and spend time with his family, but he couldn't because he had too much work to do. It's not easy to be a building worker. You can't know what's going on in someone's head. Kevin, who has never gotten into a fight, was going to do something surprising. He was ready to do his work for the day, but not for the situation that was about to happen. He got to the building site at the same time he always did. He went back to work, not knowing that this day would stay in his mind for the rest of his life. Kevin and one of his co-workers were the only ones at the spot. They were working when they heard a loud noise that hurt their ears. When he looked back, he saw a car going very fast down the road. It was probably going as fast as it could. On such a busy road, going that fast in a car wasn't safe for the driver or the other people around. They just kept staring at the car in shock. The door of the car then opened. When one of the four-wheeler's doors opened, it was still moving. Both Kevin and his coworker were looking at the car. As soon as the door to that moving car opened, someone jumped out. The person went down the road on wheels. The building workers didn't move from where they were. She was the one. She seemed to be quite young. The girl couldn't have been older than 18 at the time. As soon as she hit the ground on the road, she got up and ran toward Kevin. She was dripping with sweat and had cuts and scrapes all over her body. She was obviously running away from someone. Kevin quickly put down his tools and ran toward the girl. She was yelling at someone. It was a big, empty road. Kevin said, "She came running up to us, and you could tell she was pretty upset and scared. Her eyes were filled with tears. She was yelling as loud as she could. There was something very wrong." Kevin grabbed her and told her to stop being so crazy. But the girl was so scared that she couldn't hear anyone. She told her amazing story quickly. She started by saying that the man in the car is trying to kill her. Kevin felt like he was in a bad dream. He had seen things like this happen in movies a lot, but he never thought he would have to deal with something like this in real life. He had taken her hostage and was now taking her somewhere he didn't know. But when she jumped out of the car, she was able to get away from him. But would the worker on the building site help her? Kevin's heart was beating fast as the driver got closer and closer. No one knew if the driver had a gun. He would be putting his life at risk if he helped this little girl. But Kevin couldn't see any other way out. He chose to help this poor little girl. He didn't wait long before he called 911. The driver stopped the car on the side of the road. Kevin remembered, "I told her to stay behind me, and I'd make sure nothing bad happened to her." Kevin was determined to help the teen get out of this mess, even though he didn't know how to keep the person who did it from getting to her. Was he able to do? The driver didn't get out of the car. Instead, he stayed in the car and looked out the window and at his phone. He then looked at Kevin, the rest of the crew, and the girl. Kevin didn't move at all, and neither did he. The man got out of his car, though. Kevin was determined to protect the girl, but the driver was also not moving. Scary, the driver got out of the car and started walking after the teenager. He was on the phone with someone else. Kevin remembers very well that he did approach us. It was becoming more scary. Kevin said, he pulled up to the shoulder, got out of the car, and then saw that he was talking on the phone. The man came right up to them. But Kevin didn't give in. Kevin's faith helped him get the upper hand on that bad guy in the end. The man finally got up and ran to his car, which he then drove away from. When they could no longer see the car, the men and the girl let out a sigh of relief. Soon after the accident, police were there. Kevin still didn't understand what had just happened. When a police officer thanked him for helping the girl, he knew the whole story. Kevin remembered. He told me that we might have been the key to solving the case, since the girl had been taken earlier that day. We just happened to be in the right place at the right time. The cops were already looking for the person who took the girl, but they had no luck. If not for Kevin's daring, the person who did it would have gotten away with it for sure. It's no wonder that the man was hailed as a hero once the story got around the whole country. He could have ignored the girl, which is what most people would have done, but he chose to help her instead. The girl later said that she knew Berg. She and Berg were in a relationship that they both agreed on. But when the man found out that the girl was seeing other guys, he lost his temper. He got very angry and started hurting the girl. When the woman tried to leave his house, he hit her. He hit her to stop her from doing what she was going to do. Not only that, but he also tried to put his hands around her neck and choke her. His actions got worse and worse as time went on. When the woman tried to call for help on her phone, he threw it against the wall. The last thing he did was drag her to his car. After that, the man is said to have sexually attacked the woman. He was taking her somewhere she didn't know. But the woman jumped out of the car as they were crossing I-95 and saved his life. The bad guy was finally caught. Aaron Berg, who is 28 years old, was caught just a few hours after the girl accused him of a number of things. He was caught on charges of choking, attacking, and taking someone hostage. The girl is safe and sound at home. Kevin learned something important from this. He understood that people can solve bigger problems if they agree to help each other. Kevin wanted to tell everyone about something. If he hadn't been brave enough to stand up to the man, the teen might have died. By going with his gut, he saved a life. He said, "Pick up the phone and help someone if you see someone in trouble." He said, "You never know whose life you might save." Kareem Geller, the head of public relations for the Virginia State Police, said that the investigation is still going on. The court case is going on, and we hope that justice will be done soon. As all of the proof against Berg has been found, the man is likely to be punished soon. These days, so many people are so focused on getting from A to B. We shouldn't lose sight of the fact that we are people who will always need each other in our rush to get ahead. That's it for today, friends. Please let us know what you think about this story. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon for more amazing stories.